recorded here also. Yes. Sorry for the delay for all the YouTube Vasis. All right, but here we are. You didn't miss much. It was just a summary. Okay, yeah. Even if they missed, we shouldn't say that. All right, yeah. So it should make the everybody feel good. So because the truth is this will keep coming back in one form or the other. So now the this is the thing. Um, where were we? Yes, we were talking about the meaning of the verse. Durena. Durena means very, very far away. Avaram karma. Avaram karma means inferior. Durena avaram means very far away, far, far inferior. Karma. Karma means what? Action. Action is very inferior. That action is far inferior to what? Buddhi yoga. To the karma. That karma has to be doubled here. So, durena, avaram durena karma and buddhi yogat karma dhananjaya. So, this karma that is done with the proper attitude is very, very far away from the inferior karma. What is the inferior karma? That which is only focused on the results of action. That is the inferior karma. So, what is the superior karma? Superior karma means that which is focused on self growth. You see, now understanding what is inferior and superior? Yeah, you see now. So the karma that is done for the sake of amassing karma phala, meaning controlling the karma phala, controlling my desires, trying to fulfill my desires by controlling the results of action, which is a physical impossibility, factual impossibility. We have seen that at length. And then, so therefore, this is a total impossibility. How to control karma? How to control karma phala? Can you control karma phala? Absolutely not. Can you control karma? No, you can't. And so therefore what? So therefore we have to find another way. This is inferior because it makes you dina. Adi Shankara's word in the Bhashya for this verse. Dina means a helpless beggar who's always feeling wretched because the things are not going their way. So, if things are not going their way, what are they doing? They are keeping on asking people, "Oh, I can't handle it. Can you be a little more compassionate towards me?" Without me having to be compassionate towards you, can you be a little more compassionate towards me? Can you be a little more kind towards me without me necessarily having to return that favor? Can you be a little more accommodative of all my idiosyncrasies? Of all my idiosyncrasies, can you be accommodative? And oh, so are you going to give me that same courtesy? No, no, no. I'm beyond that because I'm too helpless. I can't handle it. I need the whole world to hold me, to rock me back and forth. Hush, shabai, hush. To sing me one lullaby. I need the whole world to treat me as though I am a chick newly hatched and cannot go out on the street, cannot do this, will run into trouble. Even though I am 72, I need the whole world to treat me as though I am two. This is what it is. And so this person is somebody who always need to be dealt with all the time. And this is what is, what we call, there's a very nice American expression. What is that? High maintenance. High maintenance person. I'm sure everybody has one or two people in the relatives and friends circle in their lives. So when they say they are going to visit, one's temperature goes up and one's feels, oh my God, how long they're going to come? Oh my God, what do I need to do? Oh no, oh no, oh no. This is what it is. So one is frightened when such people you have to deal with for a long time because you have to walk on eggshells all the time. So how does one become a high maintenance person, like a touch me not, like, oh, this is too much and that is too much and everybody has to be kind to me, because one hasn't understood this particular thing. I mean, of course, there could be some kind of personality disorder also, which needs a lot of therapy and all these things. But short of that, if it's just a garden variety, touch me not kind of a person, they haven't understood this basic thing, that their depression, their dependency, their helplessness is all due to not seeing a glaring fact in front of them, which is what? That they cannot control the results of action and there is a better way to grow. That which cannot be controlled needs to be radically accepted. That's all it is. That which is inevitable has to be accepted, and our definition of the word inevitable is Ishvara. In the form of laws, the one who is manifest, the one who is there in the form of your own adversity, in the form of your own challenges, in the form of your own difficult to manage ragadveshas, in the form of your own mind, that is what is Ishvara. Surrendering to that alone, one gets some perspective, one gets some peace, one gets a little bit of a distance. Otherwise, one becomes a helpless Karmin means the one who is in karma and karma phala loop, which, as Adi Shankara will point out in the Bhashya, leads to the the loop of birth and death, constant reincarnation, constant death, constant suffering, constant not getting the message that I am that this phala is not in my hands, not getting that message. So that's why it is called inferior form of life. Inferior to what? To the one that is superior, which is what? Karma Yoga. Where I say, okay, I have a choice. I can either keep on banging my head against the wall, which is not going to yield. Because why am I banging my head against the wall? Because I want to go beyond that wall. I want to cross the wall. Well, if you bang your head against the wall is not going to be affected. Your head will need a bandage. You will give yourself a concussion. This is what will happen. Easier it is than to bang your head against the wall is to look for a door or a window, which might be an easier opening. And then you understand, oh my God, so many lifetime I spent having a concussion. Already I could not think clearly. After banging the head against the wall, the thinking was even more fogged up and muddied, full of muddle. And so what to do now? Look for something which is easier. And karma yoga is much easier because you learn to let go, you learn to grow. You learn to grow out of dependencies with Ishvara's help, because Ishvara becomes the altar to invoke that which has the power to alter you. That is what is Ishvara is. That is the altar. You have to be altered, and that is what is the blessing of the altar, because it alters you from being this helpless person into being a spiritually, emotionally mature person who is now looking for the door. And that door is the door marked Atmajnanam 108. That is what is put on the door. Atmajnanam. What is this 108? Meditation. That's all it is. Atmajnanam. Atmajnanam buttressed by karma and meditation, for which one prepares. So look for the door called Atmajnanam. Don't bang your head against the wall because you want to get out of the room and you feel trapped. You feel trapped in this body, you feel trapped in this birth, and here you are banging your head on the wall, but other people are also doing it. Hello? I mean, you're going to run out of bandages. How many people do if they are wanting to break their heads, why do you want to do the same? That is the question. They don't know better. But you can also, instead of following them, you can tap them gently on the shoulder and say, look behind you, there is a door. Oh, but looks very far. It looks difficult to open. It opens very easily when you have Sharanagati Buddhi. Sharanagati means again that surrender to what is inevitable. The letting go, when you let go of control, that is the combination for the lock for the door. That is what it is. Door to self knowledge, the doorway to Atma Jnanam. That's what it is. And then this is what it is. Durena avaram karma. So avaram means far inferior is this karma of trying to control, because it makes you into a helpless creature. You're not even a human being. You're just, wagging the tail at every opportunity, thinking that you will be embraced. And then just like a dog in the third world countries, developing countries, it becomes the target of every urchin's pebble. So somebody throws a stone. You wanted a slice of bread, but you got a stone instead. And this is how you're just being abused by life and people in general. Why? Because you don't have that equanimity. You haven't cultivated that non-dependency. You become you become a scavenger of happiness. You become a rag picker of little small experiences. And there is conflict, strife, and a sense of helplessness and shame. This is how one grows up in this life. And so that's why this karma is inferior to what? Buddhi Yoga, fifth case. Why is it fifth case? Because it's an object of comparison here, and that is always in the fifth case. And so Buddhi Yoga means Karma Yoga. So Buddhi Yogat avaram karma. So Buddhi Yogat means compared to Karma Yoga. Why is it called Buddhi Yoga? Because Buddhi is used here. The intelligence is being used. The intellectual faculty is not, you're not making achar. Achar means pickle, you're not putting it in vinegar, and you're not putting it in some mustard and chilies, and you're allowing it to marinate. No, you're using the buddhi to see the connections and the disconnections, to see the connection between you and self growth and loss of dependency to that happiness which you seek, even in the relative sense. And the disconnection between you and this being a karma phala holic, and the inability to control the karma or the results of action. You're able to see the connections and the disconnections, and you embrace the connections that are easily available, that are actually self nurturing. Karma yoga is an act of self love. It absolutely is. Nothing else is there. Yeah. Karma yoga is an act of self love. And then, so therefore, what? So therefore, Buddhi Yoga, this is compared to Buddhi Yoga, compared to Karma Yoga, this is a very sad state of situation, sad situation, because it is inferior, far, far inferior. And therefore, what to do? The second line gives it all. Buddhau Sharanam Anvicha. Anvicha means seek, desire that, seek that, pray for that. What? To take Buddha means Buddhi Yoga. We have to add yoga there. So Buddha means don't take refuge in your intellect, but take refuge in this intelligent yoga, which is Karma Yoga. Buddhau Sharanam Anvicha. Sharanam means refuge. That's why we have this Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Like this we have. Sharanam Gacchami means I take refuge. Taking refuge means make that your home. That's what it is. When people come to a country from which they have been, so they run away from a country where there are a lot of, what are they called? Human rights abuses. So they go to a different country and they have run away. They have sat in a plane like Afghanistan last year. Drones of people came, droves of people came, and then no passport, nothing. They didn't have time to just even barely gather their children, forget the passports. So then they came to the United States, and then they are known as what? Refugees. Why are they called refugees? Because they have decided to abandon that home, which they thought was a home, because it is filled with conflict, strife, and danger to one's life. And so they want a new home because they are seeking some kind of a peace. And they don't know this home. They don't know the home. For example, they may not know that every day people are succumbing to gun violence in the United States. They don't know that, but still, relatively speaking, the rule of law works. Relatively speaking, people are prosperous. People seem to be not wanting for things, so they are choosing that home because they want some kind of a. They are abandoning a home that is filled with strife and conflict and danger of life, to choosing a new home which promises peace and prosperity. Peace, mostly. And similarly, in the exact same manner, one makes this shift. One is a refugee. First thing you do is lose the passport. Oh, lose the passport where? Lose the passport in this quote unquote home country where you are scrambling for every little rag. And the whole thing is a drag. When you keep on scrambling for every little scrap, for every little rag, and you need to abandon this country, even though you may feel very patriotically like, oh, I love it when that national anthem plays, oh, how nice. Yes, but this national anthem is full of strife, full of conflict, is giving you the wrong message. It can no longer sustain the you that is seeking something else. And when that seeking is activated, that I want this thing which I'm not getting, looks like I'm going in a big loop, that is when to abandon. And the next verse is going to say that buddhi yukto jahati ha ubhe sukrita dushkrite. Jahati means gives up. So, what is the passport in this life of strife? The passport says that, the passport is made up of the pages of the passport where the visa stamp is being done. The pages of the passport are papa punya, in a result of good karma and bad karma. And that's why you keep adding to the pages of the passport. The passport is this big now. Because papa, if sometimes even in trying to gain punya, it becomes papa due to some mistake. So then there is papa punya, there is good karma, bad karma, there is fear, and this is your passport. This is your ticket. What kind of a ticket is this? This shows I am the citizen of this country. What kind of a country is it that cannot take care of you? Country means here belief in the you have allegiance. You have pledged allegiance to raga and dvesha. That is the country. I hereby this is the pledge of allegiance in this country, which is called far inferior. And here you lay the hand on your heart, and then you say, I hereby pledge allegiance to pursuing a life of strife, to pursuing a life of disenchantment, to pursuing an inglorious life of being completely tethered to my wants. I hereby pledge that at all costs, and justify the means, and therefore at all costs I will seek what? What will I seek? I will seek all the ragas and dveshas. I will seek to fulfill my desires. I will seek to be a slave to my preferences and to my prejudices. I will seek to control everything and everybody around me, and I will seek to vanquish whoever comes in the way. This is my pledge of allegiance. And what is the national anthem for such a country? The national anthem is get up. Get up and fight against what? Against everybody. Yeah, everyone is your enemy. conscript, and you need to just fight for everyone being an enemy. And then what about Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita not allowed in this within the border. There is a censorship to anything that is life affirming. Why? Because this is what we know. A life of conflict, strife, and danger. And that is what we are going to do. This is the national anthem. This is the pledge of allegiance. This is the values and attitudes in the culture. And oh, I don't want to give up I don't want to give up this country. This country is for me. I belong here. Grew up here. There is a subhashita. Subhashita means there is a, like a little saying. How does that go? Yasyasti sarvatra gatihi sakasmat swadeshasya ragena yati nasham. तातस्य कूपो अयम् इति ब्रुवाण क्षारं जलं का पुरुषाः पिबन्ति. So, very nice saying, very appropriate here, speaking of countries and abandoning countries. So, here, this is a very nice Subhashita. So, now we'll go understand this Subhashita and we'll come back to the abandoning countries at hand. So, the Subhashita says, Yasyasti sarvatra gatihi, the one who is all pervasive, meaning who is able to be at home with oneself. That is why they are at home with everyone and everywhere. Because Om is home, they are at home with Om, and therefore they are able to be everywhere, comfortable, because they don't need all kinds of things, they don't have all these dependencies. Yasyasti sarvatra gatihi. Sakasmat, how does that person gain yati, gain nasham, become, gain anything negative? Nasham here means destruction. How is that person destroyed? Swadeshasya ragena, out of an over attachment to something called his or her own country. That person never comes to grief. Whereas Kapurushaha, the cowardly ones, Kapurushaha means cowardly ones. The cowardly ones, what do they say? They say, Statasya Kupaha Ayam. This is a, this is my father's well, or the great grandfather's well. This is a familial well. What do we have to say to that? Well, that's all you have to say. So, this is a familial well. It's a well belonging to my family. Yeah, but the water has been corrupted. The new well needs to be dug up. No. I am hugging this well. I am attached to this well. Why? Because this belonged to my forefathers and foremothers. That is why this well is only my well. No other well I want. No other water I'm going to drink. Okay, drink this water. Then what? Immediately I'm falling sick. Why? Because there is amoeba in the water. It has become corrupted. And then after drinking one glass of water, I have to spend 2 days in the bathroom. Doesn't matter. I'm going to come back and drink the same water. Ksharam jalam means this acrid, salty water. The person is a mandu, total, what is that called? Totally stubborn, idiotic, and refuses to abandon the well because it belonged to the forefathers and continues to drink out of it even though it is water, brackish water, salty water, water full of, what should I say, infested with bacteria. This is a very nice Subhashita, very relevant to us. In fact, I dared to give it at one point for a Sanskrit homework. I don't know if anybody remembers. After that, the next week, half the people didn't come. So I said, okay, I have done too much. So I had to backtrack. Okay, so I don't know if anybody remembers and is having, what should I say, a PTSD flashback from that time. So anyway, so this is the attitude. The attitude is, this is my country. Why? Because it's the only thing that is familiar. But the person suffering human rights abuses cannot afford to think that way. They are running from gunshots. They are being captured. People they know and love are disappearing, are being vanished, are vanishing. day by day, and you know that they have just not gone into hiding. You know that somebody has taken them and offed them somewhere. And this is the kind of life. You cannot even go to buy a loaf of bread without fearing your life. You'd rather remain somewhere where you're hiding, hidden and hungry. And then what? For that person, the taste of peace and the taste of some, what should I say, the ability to live freely is a very, very precious taste. Given that option, the person will no longer say, "This is my living room." What kind of a living room is it when you can't live freely there? You have to paint the windows black, you have to pretend you're not there. How can it be called living room? It has become a dying room. It's no longer living room. Oh, this is my bedroom. Where? You can't sleep at all at night. How is it your bedroom? Where bedroom is the place where you are peaceful. Here there is no peace. And oh, this is my sofa. Well, so far, so good. That's all. After that, what? Now you have to leave this. This is no longer, this is my couch. You have to take out. The sea should become silent now. It is just ouch because you can't even bear to sit on it. This is what it is. And so this is no longer nurturing you. This country, this house where you are, this country is where the, sorry, this house where, in which country it is located is no longer housing you properly. It's a bombshell, series of bombshells of despair, disappointment, disenchantment, fear, strife, etc., etc. This is what it is. And so, therefore, what? Therefore, this is it's time to abandon this country. This country is not for you. The country called Ragadvesha, Ragadvesha Desha, the Desha called Ragadvesha. And Ragadvesha doesn't mean, likes and dislikes. Ragadvesha here means a life given to fulfilling those likes and dislikes. That is no longer your country. And living there, you are getting a head injury because you're banging your head to get out. But when you get out, also you get into another room which is full of strife and danger for life. So such a person, that refugee, is so grateful to get on the plane to go to the new country. They are so happy. They may not have a job. They may not have familiar things. They may have left some things which they love. They may have left all their wealth. Maybe they were, greatly wealthy in the other country, but they have left all that behind because they really desire peace and to be alive. Here too, the person leaves this familiar life of raga, the giving to one's raga dvesha, completely being succumbing to that alone. The person leaves that in the interests of what? In the interest of a greater vista. And that is the country called Karma Yoga. You come to that place, and for the sake of emotional maturity and Atma Jnanam. And this is exactly taking refuge. One has to understand this. This taking refuge is not a small thing. It's not like, yeah, I'm a Karma Yogi, I have taken refuge. Look at, connect with that desperation of not being able to control any single thing in your life, and then choose Karma Yoga. That is the refuge. So, Buddhau Sharanam Anvicha. Please take refuge in this lifestyle because there's no other choice. Why? The last line says it all, the last one. Kripanaha phalahetavaha. Phalahetuhu means the person given to, who is living only for the results of action, is called phalahetu. The greedy person who is only wanting to control the results of action. That is what is called phalahetuhu. Bahuvrihi, you know. Phale hetuhu yasya. So phala hetuhu. So only in the phala, in the karma phala, the karma phala holic, only in the karma phala I have some kind of a respite. I don't want anything else other than karma phala. And such a, like a person who becomes greedy for karma phala, that is the person that's being talked about. And that is the person who has to be transformed. And Otherwise, that person is what? Kripanaha. So such people are called Kripanaha. Kripana is a very interesting adjective here to use. Is a very interesting description. Kripanaha means miserly. Miserly is Kripana. Why? Why is the person who refuses to make that leap from karma yoga, from being a karmi to a karma yogi, the one who refuses to make this leap, why is that person called a miser? So, and Adi Shankara will explain, we'll see the Bhashya, Adi Shankara will explain, it is because they are helpless. They hoard the papa punya, not the papa, but they hoard the karma phala. They want to generate more and more punya. Why? Because they want to generate comfortable situations in the here and the hereafter. They are anxious, they are desperate, they are in fear, and so they want more and more and more karma phala, and then so good karma phala. But in the process, they also generate papa. They also generate papa, and so therefore this is the situation, and so therefore what they are kripanaha, miserly. Can you share some punya with me? No, absolutely not. It's all for me. I want this. I don't want to do that. And this we have seen, because this is the people who, this is the person who, while going to the temple, and they want to take the arati, because taking the arati, which has the camphor lamp, which has been waved, in front of the deity, they take that. Oh, I'll get lots of punya. In the process, out of my way, they'll push three, four other people. Shoo, 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 out of my way, me first. And so this is the thing. And so even in the process of trying to gain punya, they'll get papa of pushing three people, one of them elderly and tottering person, to the ground. So they will get the papa from there, even in the process of getting punya. That is how it is. And so therefore, riding roughshod over dharma and all these things, that's why they are miserly, deenaha. And then there is another reason the word kripana is used. You see, this is where Adi Shankara in the Bhashya does a beautiful thing, because he does what is called samanvaya. Samanvaya means connections between words, connections between concepts. Where have you heard this word kripana? Immediately one must think of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Immediately it must come to mind. Why? Because I have talked about it many, many, many times. Kripana. And where is it there in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad? In the Gargi Yagyavalkya dialogue. Gargi and Yagyavalkya, two sages having a dialogue, because Gargi is charged with the responsibility of seeing who belongs in this august sabha of the king, an assembly of intellectual giants and people with self-knowledge. So Gargi, testing Yagyavalkya, asked the question, Kaha Kripanaha? Who is the miserliest of them all? Who is a miser, O Yagyavalkya? And Yagyavalkya's response is just, is a head scratching response. And why is it a head scratching response? Because immediately one doesn't understand the connection. Yo vai etad aksharam gargi aviditva asmal lokat praiti saha kripanaha. The one who does not know the imperishable as oneself, and the one who departs from the world without knowing the Atman, is the miserliest of them all. Why? What is the connection between miserliness and this? Because the person is not using their brain cells, has put the brain in a jar with vinegar to pickle, not to use. Has hoarded the brain cells. That is why kripana. You hoard your money, you are a kripana. You hoard your good deeds, you are a kripana. Yes, but you hoard the brain cells, you are the kripana-est of them all, if there is a word like that. You are the miserliest person of them all, because you have done like this. So this is the connection, and this is how one learns how to teach. Because the teaching, and both the assimilation of the knowledge, and if you're preparing yourself to teach, both of them require what is called samanvaya. Samanvaya means the ability to make these connections. And this word samanvaya comes from the Brahma Sutra. Tattu samanvayat. Tat means that Brahman, that Jagat Karanam, that knowledge of this Brahman is understood by Samanvaya, by making the connections. Immediately the word Kripana, anywhere you see, whether it's in the Bhagavad Gita or in a secondary work of Vedanta, must take you back on a journey to the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Similarly, Aksharam, the word Aksharam should take you back to the Mundaka Upanishad. Yaya Aksharam Adhikamyate, because that is the thing. The word Bhuma, wherever you see, should take you back to the 7th chapter of the Chandogya Upanishad. That is how it is. Bhuma Vidya, like this. So this is how one learns to assimilate the knowledge, and this is how one learns to give to the others. This is a very big and a shining gem of contribution of Adi Shankara to this tradition. This is really what it is. Very, very beautiful. And so, further, this is, let's see if we have looked at the Phalahetavaha Kripanaha. So, we have seen the verse. So, there is a very dire warning that if you don't abandon this country that is not nurturing you, that is in fact contributing to feeling that you are in danger all the time, then there is it is at great peril, because you become a miserly person. You become, since you're not using your intellect, you become deadened to the realities of life. You become deadened to Atma Jnanam. You are deluded, and you are continuing to live in this country called self-ignorance and all its broods, kama, karma phala, etc., making it a happy loop. So now we'll see the Bhashya. Durena ati viprakarshena hi avaram निकृष्टं कर्म फलार्थिना क्रियमाणं बुद्धियोगात् समत्वबुद्धियुक्तात् कर्मणः जन्ममरणादिहेतुत्वात् हे धनञ्जय. Durena, he defines as ati viprakarshena. Ati viprakarshena means very far away, very far away. And also, he indeed avaram nikrishtam. Nikrishtam means that which debases you, that which portrays you in a terrible light is called nikrishta. Utkrishta means that which elevates you. That which brings you down is called Nikrishta. So this is not Utkrishta, this is Nikrishta. So Nikrishtam karma. And how is this, who is this done by? Phalarthina kriyamanam. That which is taken recourse to by the desirers of the results of action. Phalarthina, by the karma phalaholic, the one who is being performed, the one who is performing karma for the sake of results of action, this kind of a thing is far, far inferior, and you debase yourself each time you become a beggar for karma phala. Why? Because it is far away. Buddhi yogat. Buddhi yoga here is defined as samatva buddhi yuktatvat, yuktat. Samatva buddhi yukta. This is very far away than compared to the action that is endowed with equanimity equanimity of mind while greeting the results of action. Because you see, in the first one, in the inferior one is a beggar, one is miserly, one is living in danger all the time. And then in the other one is not a beggar. One is walking with the head held high. One is in full, one is free. One is in touch with one's own fullness, relatively speaking. One is compassionate, kind, accommodative. Very big difference. And then, so therefore, samatva buddhi yuktat karmanaha janma maranadi hetutvat. So compared to that evenness of mind, why? Because the former, this nikrishtam karma is is Janma Marana Hetutvat. Janma Marana Hetutva means it is the cause of the reproduction of samsara highlighted by birth, illness, death, etc. That is the cause. That is the cause of samsara. Then there is birth, there is illness, there is death. This is what it is, and that is the cause of samsara. O Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya means the one who is uh, very prosperous. Oh Arjuna, who is blessed with inner prosperity, please don't choose this life of debasing yourself and looking terrible all the time, feeling terrible. And then he gives the reason. Yataha evam योगविषयायां बुद्धौ तत् परिपाकजायां वा साङ्ख्यबुद्धौ शरणम् आश्रयम् अभयप्राप्तिकारणम् अन्विच्छ प्रार्थयस्व परमार्थज्ञानशरणो भव. And here this is a injunction and a blessing. It's an injunction for Arjuna to take to this life. So why? Because, yataha yasmat karanat, because of this reason that you don't want to be a helpless creature. Therefore what? Take shelter in Karma Yoga. Two choices are given. Take shelter in Karma Yoga. Now let us imagine that there is a there is a room with two doors. One is called Karma Yoga, another one is called Atma Jnanam or Jnana Yoga. So here the hapless, hopeless, helpless, jaded, faded jiva is banging the head against the wall, and then the person can be directed to the doorway marked Karma Yoga, which leads to Atma Jnanam indirectly, or the person can straight away choose the doorway marked Atma Jnanam, self-knowledge, depending upon one's paripakvata. Paripakvata means readiness for this. The readiness for Atma Jnanam comes from a life of Karma Yoga. So Atma Jnanam without Karma Yoga is not possible. Has to be equipped by Karma Yoga, and so therefore Adi Shankara says you have two choices. Evam Yoga Vishayayam. So therefore take shelter. Yoga Vishayayam means in Karma Yoga. Take take a buddhau tat so take shelter in that one choice. Or here, va you have to say, tat paripakajayam va. So the va is there, va means or. Or tat paripakajayam. Tat means from that, paripakajayam, from the emotional maturity, born of the emotional ripeness. That is what is called tat paripakajayam. Tat means tasya, from tasmat, from that, karma yogat. So from that, from that maturity, va, or from that maturity, Sankhya Buddhau Sharanam Ashrayam Anvicha Prarthayasva. So either you take to a life of Karma Yoga or take recourse, refuge in Sankhya Yoga. Drop everything if you're ready and go for a life of this knowledge, because knowledge frees karma binds. Karma Yoga is in between this knowledge and you, because many people say, I'm not ready to drop everything, I'm not ready to go elsewhere, I have to be here, I have to do this, I have places to go, people to see, things to experience. Okay, for such people, you go through the doorway marked Karma Yoga and stay there for some time until you get that paripaka, buddhi paripakvata, or you go straight away through the doorway marked Atma Jnanam, take to a life of knowledge, and then there you are sheltered in the awareness of yourself as Atma. In that, when you choose the doorway marked Atma Jnanam, you're sheltered in that awareness of that Akshara, of that Atma Jnanam as this Paramartha Lakshana, Paramartha Jnanam. knowledge of Ishvara as oneself, that becomes your shelter. Go stand underneath that, or stand underneath Karma Yoga umbrella, which will lead you to this place. Both are the same. One takes, one takes a little longer, or doesn't matter whether it takes longer or not. One is a little bit of a, one stops for preparation, and then one goes there, or one goes there straight away and prepares oneself. This is the idea. And then so by being sheltered in either case, both places, one is sheltered by Ishvara. In the doorway marked Karma Yoga, it opens into a big umbrella, a room or an umbrella, where the roof is Ishvara. Ishvara as Karma Phaladata. You are sheltered by Ishvara, and one is not afraid. And in the doorway marked Atma Jnanam, you are sheltered. The roof is the knowledge of Ishvara as yourself, which is the same as Ishvara. So this is what it is. So either ways, you are not disappointed and you are no longer in peril. And the next verse is a little bit more bhashya is left, and the next verse is going to tell us to abandon that country of strife and where you are in danger for your life. We'll see more next week. Tomorrow, I have a prior engagement that I forgot about. So we will not have Shatashloki tomorrow. Shatashloki will meet next week, but this weekend classes and all we will have. All right. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you very much. Shambhavi, I want to talk to you. Call me on WhatsApp, okay? Yeah, we can
Thank you.
discuss this a little more.